Good morning. I'm here to provide an update on the second ASR case to go to trial. As many of you may know, their first case in the country was tried to a jury in Los Angeles and recently came back with a verdict in favor of the plaintiff for approximately $8.4 million. Right after that verdict came down, a second trial started in Chicago, Illinois, and we are a couple days into that trial. The trial involves an individual named Carol Strum. She was 54 years old. She is a nurse and had her hip replaced in 2008, and during that surgery they used a DePuy ASR hip. About 3 years later, the hip had to be replaced because she had elevated cobalt and chromium levels. Based on what we've seen from the defendants and the plaintiffs in opening argument, it looks like this case is going to take a very similar track to the previous case that was trialed in Los Angeles. Specifically, in opening arguments, the defense attorneys are arguing that the DePuy ASR hip is not a defective medical device. In other words, they're arguing that there's really nothing wrong with the hip, and they essentially recalled it purely for precautionary measures. The problem with that argument, and it's a problem that was really highlighted in the Los Angeles case and was highlighted in opening arguments by the plaintiff, is the internal documents at DePuy. The documents, and one in particular that was signed off by very high-level executives at the company, specifically calls the DePuy ASR a defective medical device that can cause injury. And that's a document that really came back to haunt the defendants in the first case, and it appears that the defendants have doubled down on their strategy and are continuing to take that in the second case. We'll see how it turns out. So far, there's been approximately 2 days of testimony in the case. Much of the testimony is gone the same way as the first case. The plaintiffs appear to have learned a lot of lessons from what happened in the Los Angeles litigation, and they're introducing a lot of the same witnesses and testimony, usually by videotape, that was presented in that previous case. And when I say by videotape, what I mean is that there were depositions taken in the litigation. Those depositions were videotaped, and those videotapes are being shown to the jury. It's not the ideal way to put on a case because jurors tend to get bored when they watch videotapes, but when the defendants refuse to bring their witnesses to the courtroom, sometimes that's the only way you can get the evidence in front of the jury. And the reason they're allowed to do that is a lot of these witnesses do not live anywhere near Chicago, and so the subpoena power of the court doesn't reach to where they live. So that's where we are. It appears, like I said, that everything is sort of going along the same track as the previous case. We'll see how things turn out, but the first case I thought was a very strong case, the case in Los Angeles. This one appears to be even better. The plaintiff does not have nearly as many health issues as the plaintiff did in the Los Angeles litigation, and so there's a lot less causation evidence that's going to be presented on behalf of the defendant. Now, stay tuned for updates. If you have a metal-on-metal hip or any type of defective hip, feel free to give us a call. My name is Stuart Talley. Our phone number is 916-448-9800. You can also reach us by Skype. We do video conferencing with a lot of our prospective clients. We have clients from all over the country. My username on Skype is Stuart Talley, and that's STUART TALLEY. The third way you can get in touch with us is through our website. We have a website that's set up to provide information about cobalt and chromium toxicity. It is probably the best resource on the internet for getting information about those issues. We have videotape interviews with experts, hours of videotape interviews. We have many actual medical journal articles that talk about the effects of cobalt and chromium. And so you can reach us through that website, and there's lots of information that may help you. That website is www.cobalt-chromium toxicity.com.